I thought I'd try a quicker way. So I used a bolt and I put the nut on till it was about one thread only showing. Then I went up to a gas cooktop and I just rotated the nut under the flame till it got warm. If you hang on to the steel rod, steel thread, and you're burning your fingers, it's too hot. So I got it warm after, I don't know, a minute or so. Then I made sure that the nut was horizontal to that surface and just rested it on the cone so it was then in position, and then I pushed it down. The first ones I did, I only pushed it down a little bit, went back, heated it up, come down, pushed it in. You wobble it as you're pushing it down, and the reason why you don't have the thread sticking out is that the melted plastic has to go somewhere, and if the thread is blocking the hole, you can lock this in position, but also it won't go down. So you just have it up to there, push it down, the excess plastic goes into the hole. Then once it's down to the flush of that surface, as you're pushing it, you look to make sure the bolt is sitting up straight both directions. Then what I did was I went out to the workshop in the vise, and I learned by the time I got up to the next ones, I left the bolt in, still hot, with the nut, went out to the workshop, unscrewed the bolt, and just put that into the vise, that surface in the vise, and that kept it square. And if that nut was on the angle, let's say, that would then push it, plus it would help push it flush. So I just put it in the vise, tighten the vise up, and then let it stay there for a minute or so, and then come in, went back, done the next one. So probably running backwards and forwards 10-15 minutes to do those. When I was doing those, I then realized that you really just, if you want to, you really just need to do one. Just top one. You can leave the nut sitting proud on these two because they're in the air. They don't affect anything. But I like it to be all the same and looking neat. Now this is that fits on there like that. So this is the one you have to machine down, grind or file flat, this screw. So that's approximately 4mm. So if I reduce that height by 4mm, that will then be flush. That then will clear it. The way you do it is you've pushed it down with your bolt, you've come back and you've let them cool. Inside that bore where the screw goes, the melted plastic has flowed up. So here's our friend here that I use for the counter boring. This is a 5.8mm drill, just the one that happens to be the diameter of those holes. So then just put that in, turn it by hand up to the nut. Don't go too hard, otherwise it will bite into the nut and can snap the plastic and the drill and all that. So you just screw it in a little bit. There's little bits of swarf. Screw it in, back it back, take it out, screw it in, it'll get tight. Then you just back it back, let it back, let the backwards part of the blade basically wear the plastic away off the nut, blow it out, and here's our other old friend, the incremental taps, the 1, 2, 3 taps. And like I said, there's videos on how to use them. So I just got the number 2 and I then went in through the nut, in through that way, checking that it was square and all that. So then the hole was square to the nut. Then I just put the screw in and tighten up. But I must admit, Doing it this way, it is very secure, except for the slop on there, but it's a lot more solid than what it was before. And there's no distortion, that's still flat, square. So that's the 3 options you've got, or 4 options. 1 is to leave it as it is. 2 is to make up little shim bushes to fit inside. 3, only melt 1 nut into the countersink, and the one I recommend, 4, is to do the whole lot, because it will look a lot better, a lot cleaner. So that's what I've done. Before I continue with the rest of the vertical carriage, solve the problem of the push rods and a belt adjuster. I will machine these up to thickness. I will machine these up to the same thickness. I will get countersunk screws. So once I've machined these up, I'll then come back with this video, and I would have machined one of them down and just show you the final assembly. So that gives you a chance to catch up, and I'll be back in a matter of moments. That's the magic of video.